This video is disseminated by Rocket Doctor AI. In the past couple of years, I found a few stocks under $1 that went on to be $10 or even $20 stories. Every one of them had something in common with Rocket Doctor AI, cutting edge technology and strong grounded management. So today I'm sitting down with the founder, Dr. Kevin Peterson, to talk about why this new $2 million National Institute of Health grant might be the moment where everything accelerates. Kevin, welcome. I know you've been a family doctor and a professor at the University of Minnesota, and now you're leading a company at the intersection of medicine and artificial intelligence. It's quite the range. So can you start by giving investors a quick look at your background and how it positioned you to build Rocket Doctor AI?
Well, thanks for asking, Penny. Yeah, I'm a family doctor, really. I've been a professor at the University of Minnesota for 35 years, where I've taught family medicine to medical students. I'm also the former vice president of the American Diabetes Association. I've been on the faculty, not only in medical school, but the Institute of Health Informatics and the Institute of Engineering and Medicine. My field has really been looking at the delivery of care. I've been particularly involved in diabetes and chronic disease, but my entire career has been looking at how care can be better delivered across the world. I've had a particular focus on the primary care environment, where most of the care is delivered to most of the people most of the time.
All right. Well, let's talk about the big headline first. Rocket Doctor AI's UN subsidiary, Treatment.com, just received a $2 million phase 2 grant from the National Institute of Health in partnership with Rush River Research. So for people who don't live in the grant world, what exactly does that mean? And how competitive is the process?
It's a very competitive process, the Small Business Innovation Research Awards. It's a proposal that goes in. We initially had to get a phase 1 grant. And then as success of that phase 1 grant was accepted and that we then had to reapply, have it evaluated by more than 20 of our peers and said, this is the kind of research, this is the kind of work that needs to be adopted and that the NIH will pay for. So the phase 2 award is really an endorsement. It's an affirmation that that work was valuable and useful and commercializable. And the subsequent award really allows us to take that and not only develop it further, but to integrate it into our commercial products and deliver it to the country.
All right. What's interesting here is that Rocket Doctor AI isn't just another medical AI startup. It's a combination of groundbreaking AI and a high margin SaaS platform. It's one of those rare situations where 1 + 1 really does equal 3. So how do these two pieces, the AI engine and the SaaS delivery model, work together to create value?
Great question. Rocket Doctor it's a commercial telehealth company with about 300 doctors that was acquired by the AI company. What it does is really bring together that healthcare delivery with an advanced AI company so that we can better integrate those capabilities into healthcare delivery. I think you'll see that in very practical ways by automated booking that's faster and more efficient than booking by calling up a person. I think you'll see that we can provide pre-visit assessments. We can proactively reach out to people and talk to people, assess their health, and help determine what's wrong before they come into the doctor. We can do things like read the medical chart that your doctor has struggles to have time to take a look at and make sure that nothing in your history is missed when you're going in to see a doctor who may not be familiar with you. It really improves the communication between a doctor and a patient because it has the ability to reach out and talk and bring information into the doctor. In the end, it improves the relationship between patients and doctors.
All right, then let's dig into the Global Library of Medicine. What is it? Why did you build it?
The Global Library of Medicine, we founded that back in 2016 at the University of Minnesota Medical School. We really began to look at taking the clinical expertise and putting it into an online compendium that was driven by, that we could provide to the people of the world. It was really a mission-driven process where we had 150 doctors working for 9 or 10 years to provide information that was going to be able to speed the access and the availability of information to the people around the world about medicine. It contains information about diseases and symptoms and risk factors and labs and recommendations for treatment. It was really built in a medical school and by hand from the same information that is used to educate medical students. It That's why the GLM thinks like a doctor. It's been taught like a doctor. It learned anatomy and it learned clinical presentation of disease and how that differs in different individuals. One of the differences about the GLM is that it has been to medical school.
Right. That's what I love. This isn't hype. It's hard science, real world validation from the doctors actually using it, and now the National Institute of Health. So most people know about large language models like ChatGPT or Open Evidence. How does a global library of medicine differ from those systems?
We live in an exciting time, and we're surrounded by technology that affects us every day and changes our perspectives. But we're still in the early stages of artificial intelligence. The generative AI models that you often see used are based on probability models about words and word frequency and context. It's great when you're developing a conversation with the creativity of a generative AI model, but medicine is different than having a conversation. Medicine is based on facts, on real data and real people. There's just no room for hallucination in medicine. The GLM is built on facts and numbers and the clinical expertise of experienced providers. It never hallucinates. And it supports its thinking with transparent references and scientific citations. That's the difference.
So in simpler terms, your system doesn't guess, it knows.
Exactly.
All right. Well, execution matters, and there are no shortage of big ideas in AI, but few can replicate a decade of physician-curated data. So what gives Rocket Doctor AI its defensible edge, and what prevents others from copying it?
I think the creation of a knowledge set that's hand-built by physicians allows us to incorporate the thinking of doctors. Many of our generative AI models are generated by large data sets, and they come from the internet and they come from all sorts of different places, even from scientific publications. But you have to remember that about 50% of what comes even from a scientific publication later is proven to be false. I mean, that's how the scientific process works. We can base our information on the clinical experience of existing physicians. We know that it was built by doctors, not by engineers. It allows us to provide recommendations that are individualized and to people. It allows us to use judgments from physicians that are evidence-based rather than based on word frequency.
How does this National Institute of Health grant strengthen your commercial roadmap, both for validating the GLM and for opening doors for future partnerships and government contracts?
The Small Business Innovation Research Award opens up a wide variety of networking possibilities. It not only funds further development of the intellectual property that will be along to Rocket Doctor and treatment, but it also pays for the integration of that and the commercialization of that work. Once that is in the GLM, then that can be applied to a wide variety of our commercial products. It'll improve the medical education products that we have. It'll be put into our clinical decision support products. It can be used in the delivery of clinical care across our doctors that are working with it now. I just think that it will expand our markets. We're seeing it applied already in both Canada and across America, in the New York and California, Maryland. I think that we'll see continued growth, and the speed of that growth will not only occur in this country, I think. We have interest from all over the world, in Asia and Europe and in Africa, about how do we get access to this knowledge? How do we apply this knowledge to the providers in our country who may not have the depth of training that we have here in the United States?
So can I ask you just more details about the grant itself? So it's for $2 million. It goes to you and your research partner, Rush River Research. So it's 500,000 going basically into the GLM, and the other 1.5 million is that for IP or a better product?
Well, the rest of the resources are spent in cooperation with our partners, Rush River Research. Now, they are experts in engineering and design, and they know our products well. So they'll work closely with that. But it also provides the opportunity to bring in additional expertise from across the country and across the world. So we can apply what we learn into this research and development program. The 500,000 is really for taking that information and commercializing it in our products.
All right. So as an investor, I absolutely love seeing that kind of money coming in for research and development, especially coming from an external source. But above that, the external validation is really what investors are looking for. You've got federal funding, clear IP, and a real commercialization path here. So this is super exciting news. Healthcare is clearly the next frontier for AI, and we've seen AI transform finance and media, and now it's medicine's turn. Where do you see the global library of medicine and Rocket Doctor AI 3 years from now?
I think that as AI develops, I think that as we begin to step into this world, I think that you'll see that AI will become a more and more important part of clinical medicine across the world. I don't doubt that there'll be many other competitors with us, but I think that as we step in, the GLM really provides an evidence-based resource, which I think is the next generation of how we apply AI in medicine. It's reliable, it's trustworthy, it doesn't hallucinate, and it provides a transparent description that is scientifically cited for the recommendations that it makes. I think that we're going to see that grow rapidly across North America. I think that we already have interest from other parts of the world, from across Europe and Africa and Asia. I think in 3 years we could see a great deal of growth as we provide this out into different markets.
Excellent. I know you've been traveling and speaking with healthcare care groups worldwide. What kind of feedback are you hearing about the GLM from governments and medical institutions abroad?
I have a lot of interest. It's really exciting to be able to go to different parts of the world, whether it's Southeast Asia. I know we have a great deal of interest in Taiwan and in Europe. I think that the Middle East has been very interested in adopting and bringing this work in to help grow not only the economies, but the workforces of the groups that are in the area. So I hear a lot of really great things, probably more than we can keep up with at a good pace.
Good. I like you busy. It's really exciting to hear that kind of global response, and technology built on solid science can scale anywhere. So that's it for my questions. And as always, my opinions are my own. I don't speak for the company, but from where I sit, Rocket Doctor AI is one of those rare combinations of innovation and execution that can truly change the industry. So, Dr. Peterson, thank you for taking the time to come and share your vision.
Thank you for inviting me, Penny. I really enjoyed it.